Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be giving my prediction on oral skills, which forms part of PP1. Oral skills generally accounts around 30 marks, and that is the marks that it contributes to the total tally of 60 marks. What I want to tell the candidates is that those 30 marks are very important in scoring the desired grade in PP1. There is one area that is always examined, and that is the short forms of oral literature. In some cases and in many situations, it contributes around 6 marks when it is examined. We have 4 major forms of oral literature, that is the short forms of oral literature. And in this video, I will take you through all of them and the ways in which they can be set. So the short forms of oral literature are: number 1, we have the tongue twister, the proverb, the riddle, and then lastly, the pun. The first question that can be examined here is that a candidate will be expected to identify the given form of oral literature, the short form of oral literature. So maybe the proverb, the tongue twister, the pun, or the riddle will be given, and the candidate will be expected to identify which short form of oral literature that is. Another question that you should also expect in this section is the distinguishing feature of a given short form of oral literature. And at this point, a candidate should be aware that you only score if you correctly identified that short form of oral literature. So if at part A you are unable to correctly place the short form of oral literature, then your responses in the distinguishing features becomes null and void. Then another question that is examined here is the functions of the given short form of oral literature. So those are the 3 questions that you should prepare for in an event that these short forms of oral literature have been tested. I will try to quickly go through the 4 of them, and I will begin from the tongue twister. So tongue twister are always sequences of words or sounds, typically alliterative, that is use of alliteration, and they are normally difficult to pronounce quickly. Some of the distinguishing features is that there are at times repetition of sounds or words, and in most cases challenging sounds or words. Because we said that they are alliterative, they make use of alliteration and assonance. In alliteration, there is the repetition of the initial consonant sounds in the words that appear in that line. And also there is the use of assonance as well. Again, their effectiveness lies on how quickly the speaker pronounces the various words or sounds. They are also terse and pithy, and again, they heavily rely on changing positions and the varying words. Then the functions of a tongue twister is that number one, they are used for language therapy. They're used in speech development. They entertain. They educate. Some of them are used to comment on a natural phenomena. A session for tongue twisters could also be used as pastime. Those are some of the functions of tongue twisters. Number two, we have what we call proverbs. And proverbs are short, pithy sayings, and in most cases, they're used to generally tell some truths. Some of the features of a proverb is that they are short and terse, and in most cases, they have hidden meaning. Then they state general universal truths. They use to a great extent imagery. And number four, in as much as they state general and universal truths, they are known to invoke some culturally unique views. About proverbs, what we also need to know is that they are often made up of two parts. And the first part we refer to as proposition, and the second part completion. For example, if we have a proverb, hurry, hurry has no blessings, the first part will be hurry, hurry. And that is what we call the proposition. Then the second part, has no blessings, is what we refer to as the completion. Some of the functions of a proverb is that they educate, number one, they warn, they entertain, they reflect a given culture or a given history of the society from which it comes. A proverb is also used in socialization. They're used in social interactions. Then in narratives, before a narrative is narrated, a proverb can be used as a warm-up session. Then we have the third short form of oral literature, and that is the riddle. And riddle are questions that are deliberately phrased, and they require some kind of critical thinking or ingenuity to come up with their answers. Some of the features is that in most cases they are presented in figurative language using aspects of style like synecdoche, similes, metaphors, metonymy, personification, and the rest. They also make use of sound patterns like onomatopoeia, ideophone, assonance, alliteration. Riddles also use imagery from the local environment. They allude to birds, to animals, and even the technological imagery is also considered. They are short, terse, and puzzling, requiring solution. And again, riddles are conducted between two parties, that is, the challengers and the respondents. Some of the functions of a riddle, they are used for entertainment, educating children. They're used also to make children aware of their rich cultural and historical heritage. And riddles are also used as warm-up sessions prior to storytelling. Another way that the riddles can also be tested is what we call a riddling session. The knowledge of riddling session can be tested. And the riddling session, the first process or the first step is that in a riddling session, there is what we call the challenge. And at the challenge, the challenger requests the respondent to pose a riddle. So it can come in the form of riddle. After the challenge, there is the response. Here is where the respondent agrees to the challenge by the challenger and accepts the challenger to go on with his or her riddle. It can come in the form of riddle count. Then we have the third stage, and that is posing of the riddle itself. Then stage 4, there are now attempts at solving the puzzle or the riddle. If the solution to the riddle is found at this point, then the riddling session comes to an end. In an event that the respondents fail to find the solution to the puzzle, then the challenger demands for a prize. So the respondents can give to the challenger the prize, let's say a town, maybe an animal or whatever. And then after that, the challenger gives the solution to that puzzle. So in a riddle, as a short form of oral literature, apart from the candidate being expected to know the features and the functions, again, the candidate should master the concept of a riddling session. The last short form of oral literature, we have what we call a pun. And a pun is always a word play, a literature genre, which normally exploit the different possible meanings of a word or a fact. For example, we can say, my father went to the bank. So the word bank, there are two possible meanings. Number one, it would mean that my father went to a financial institution. Number two, it could also mean that my father went beside the river. So in such a sentence, a pun has been used. Other examples of puns could be, an elephant opinion has a lot of weight. We always know that an elephant is an animal, but in this context, it could mean that maybe an important opinion has a lot of weight. So such kind of sentences which form the word play, and then the speaker seeks to exploit different and possible meanings of words and facts, are what we call puns. What are some of the features of a pun? The one feature of a pun is that there is always some kind of ambiguity. There is a word that brings ambiguity, and that ambiguity is what brings the various possible meanings of the words. Some of the functions: a pun normally adds meaning to texts. Number two, a pun is used to enhance creativity or critical thinking. A pun is also used for entertainment. Then lastly, a pun is also used to educate. Now, viewers, my dear candidates, remember to revise and furnish these 4 short forms of oral literature: tongue twister, proverb, riddle, and pun. All in an event that it is set, all what we have gone through is what you will meet. Thank you, viewers. If you are here for the first time, consider subscribing to my channel. Again, turn on the notification bell so that anytime we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Also, thank you very much, supporters, for the support that you've given to this channel.